Thank you for such a great on thank you for a great introduction. So now I'm gonna ask you, what is a certain piece of advice that you'd give to someone who wants to make a positive impact on themselves?
I think the most important thing is that they know that they're not alone. There's a lot of people out there who feel very alone right now. And I think if we keep telling them that they're not alone and that someone's going to be there for them, it's going to make a huge difference. And having that emotional support system.
Wow, that's definitely very true. It's not cool to be alone, and everybody knows that. So that's why it's always good to have family and friends who can help you out in tough and challenging situations, because it's never okay to know that you are alone and have no one there to help you out through tough times. But everyone knows that that will never be true.
Right. And the other thing is, it's we all remember the way we treat people, right? Or how we're treated. So that's why I'm so proud of you, because you are one of the kindest people I've ever met in my life.
I got to admit, you're also a nice, sweet-hearted woman who's always willing to spread messages of kindness, and that's why I love getting to talk to you, just like how you love getting to talk to me, because we have very kind hearts and we spread awesome messages about our lives, and that's why we get along really well.
Yes. So I'm excited. These are good questions.
They are 100%. So
Yeah.
now I'm going to be asking you, was there ever a certain moment that helped you learn something important about yourself when helping someone else?
That's a really good question. There are moments that stand out. Sometimes you do an act of kindness for people, and you and I do acts of kindness for people with no expectation. With no expectation. We do it to do it with no expectation in return. So I'm going to share a story with you, Jacob, that I think will really show you an act of kindness and how it came back. And I had no idea it would. Many years ago, I love to run and hike. I haven't been running lately, but I love to hike. So I was down by the river and it was really, really, really cold. Um, and I got on my car and I saw a man and it was probably 20 degrees outside. And there was a man who had on jeans and he had no shirt, right? And I always kept sweatshirts in my car. So I reached in and I gave him a really warm hoodie to wear. And I said, "Here, sir, it's too cold." He was, living down by the river. I said, "You need a sweatshirt, right?" And he said, "Okay, thank you so much." And I went on my way, right? Well, the next day I went back to the river again. And I started walking, and this man approached me in a not a good way, in a little bit of a scary way. So then the man who I gave the sweatshirt to stood in front of me, and he said, "Rachel, you enjoy your walk. I'm gonna keep an eye out for you. Just keep showing up here." And he explained to the other man, you, basically, you're not gonna touch this woman. She's on my, she's with me." But Jacob, did I know that I was gonna see that man again after I gave him the sweatshirt? Never, ever, ever thought I was gonna see him again. But what is amazing, he said to me, "You know what, Rachel, it meant so much that you gave me clothes. This is the least I could do. That you opened your heart, and said, here's a hoodie, please wear it." So that's a story, but what because you never know how the way you made somebody feel, the day before, how it's going to affect when you cross paths with them again. But that's a story of kindness.
Wow. I really enjoyed that story. It was very nice getting to know that you showed a little bit of kindness, even if it was that small act, and you never knew how a little act of kindness could make a big difference in someone's day. And when another man came up to you, that same man who you gave the hoodie to was like a superhero. He was there to save your life, and I couldn't feel more happy for you since that kind act of yours made a big difference in his everyday life.
Yeah, and it is just, and then I kept, I saw him and he was so, I mean, so that's a wonderful question. A lot of people, you do acts of kindness just to do them, right? With no agenda, right? With no agenda. That's a great question.
Yeah, and like I said, that's why it's always good to show even the smallest act of kindness, just like how you showed by giving the man that hoodie. If you had any kind of superpower to your community, what would that superpower be?
So you know, Jacob, because I shared with you that my favorite superhero is Wonder Woman. She my whole life, Wonder Woman has been my ultimate favorite superhero. Are you asking if I had a superhero power? What would it be? Because I have a couple I would like. Okay, so I would pick three. One, to be able to teleport. I absolutely love to travel. So if I could like snap my finger and go to Italy for dinner or go to Paris for lunch. So it's being able to teleport, right? That'd be my first one. Second one would be using those powers for good. I think that's the most important thing. If you're a superhero, you could probably get some stuff done. And my third one would be the ability to heal people who are suffering, whether it's mentally, physically. I would love to be able to have a magic wand and take all that pain away from people who are suffering.
Wow, those sound like awesome superpowers, and those could really make a
Mhm.
big difference in someone's everyday life, just like how you're showing right now. And that's what's great about existing in life. You never know what differences you could make.
Correct. I absolutely agree with you, Jacob. 1000%.
Yeah, and that's why even if it's for nothing, nothing in return, you should always do your part in this world and show people who you are, even if you get nothing in return, because that could make a big difference in this world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And by the way, is there any projects as an author and illustrator that you're working on right now that's still in the works?
Yes, I'm actually, it's a really good question. It might take me a year. I'm in the process of, I haven't told anybody this, Jacob. I'm in the process of writing a book of poetry. It's only going to be about 15 poems, but once I'm done with it, I'm in the process of writing a book of poetry.
Wow. Definitely sounds interesting. And as you may already know, I am working on writing an autobiography about myself and everything that I've been through in my life and what inspired me to not give up. And I'm hoping that someone can pick it up as either a movie or an actual chapter book or maybe even a TV series. Those would be big goals and accomplishments.
Absolutely, and I've had the honor and privilege of reading your biography, and it is phenomenal, and it's phenomenally written, and the stories that you share, it's very, very powerful. Keep writing always, because you have the talent. You're a very, very gifted writer.
You know, I couldn't agree more, and that's exactly what I'd say to you. You are also a very, very talented and gifted writer who deserves the best. And that's everything I can agree on.
Thank you, and that was super kind to you. Thank you.
Anytime. So I'm very glad you were able to come back on my show, and it was very great getting to know a lot about acts of kindness, helping out someone else, and getting inspired to learn something about yourself, even in the smallest of kind acts, and basically sharing kind messages of everything kind.
And I'm so excited because do you know what, Jacob? I'm going to be sharing the interview of me interviewing you shortly. So I'm super excited to share that with the world.
Yeah, I'm very excited to share this video with the world as well. I love getting the chance to talk to you whenever I can. It's always special to get to hear messages of kindness.
And I feel like, and I can tell you this, it's an honor and privilege to know you. Jacob, you are one of the people who inspires me. You really truly are. And anybody who gets to meet you is going to be so blessed by your gifts and your talents.
You know what? That's exactly what I'd say to you if I have to be honest. That's
Ah,
everything I
thank
agree with.
you. Well, I'm excited. So let me ask you this question. What are three superpowers you would like to have? Because I know you love superheroes. What are the three you would like?
Well, if I could have three superpowers, then number one would be the power of music. I'd be able to stop crime with rocking guitar solos and be known as the mighty guitarist. The
I
second
love that.
act would be the power to teleport anywhere in this world because I love traveling. And at number three, I'd have the power of kindness and inspiring everyone to do what they love, no matter what anyone else says about them.
We see, I had a feeling, I don't know why, but I had this feeling you and I both would pick teleporting. I just had a hunch. And I think, I think it's a superpower that if everybody, if we could, we probably would. If someone comes up with that, the ability, and there's like certain times in life I would like to go see. There are certain key moments that I would love to experience.
Yep, I'd love to experience them as well. They sound very awesome.
Right?
Yeah.